Good evening. Welcome to our regular meeting of the St. Mary Parish School Board, April 2nd, 2026, 5:30 p.m. in the Evan Medine Meeting Room. Dr. Sanders, please call roll.
Yes, ma'am. Ms. Brent? Dr. Wilson? Mrs. Anselm? Present. Ms. Jones? Mrs. Griffin? Ms. LaSalle? Mr. Guillory? Mr. Parody? Mr. Mancuso? Mrs. Dennis? Mrs. Black?
Here.
All present. We have a quorum.
Thank you. If you are able to, please stand for the invocation followed by the Pledge of Allegiance.
Would you please bow your heads for a moment of prayer? Father God, we pause to say thank you for all of your bountiful, abundant blessings. Also, we thank you for giving your divine wisdom and understanding to Dr. Sanders, Ms. Black, and all of our other school board members as they effectively discuss and subsequently take action as needed on each item comprising today's agenda. Finally, we thank you in advance for continuing to keep our nation, our military men and women, our families, our officers, and most importantly, Father, we thank you for keeping our schools and everyone associated as safe as possible. These and other blessings we ask in your name, in the name of Jesus, amen.
All right, our students and employees of the month, Centerville High School, or Centerville School? School.
Elementary, middle?
All the grades. Good evening, everyone. It is my pleasure to recognize the outstanding students and employee of the month from Centerville High School. We are proud to celebrate individuals who consistently demonstrate excellence in academics, leadership, and character. We will begin with our 5th grade student of the month, Ms. Peyton Ross. Peyton is the daughter of Misty and Jared Ross and the sister of Chloe Ross. At this time, I would like to ask her family to please stand and be recognized. Peyton is a member of our junior high pep squad and has a passion for volleyball, which she looks forward to continuing at the school level next year. She is also an avid reader and has achieved Word Millionaire status this year with an impressive total of over 1.3 million words read. Academically, Peyton has maintained all A's and has scored at the advanced and mastery levels on both her 3rd and 4th grade LEAP assessments. She has also been named our CHS 5th grade Student of the Year. Her favorite subject is ELA, and she aspires to become a nurse in the future. Ladies and gentlemen, Ms. Peyton Ross. Next, I am proud to introduce our 8th grade Student of the Month, Miss Chloe Ross. Chloe is the daughter of Misty and Jared Ross and the sister of Peyton Ross. I again would like to ask the family to stand and be recognized. Chloe is in the St. Mary Parish Gifted and Talented program and is an active member of the junior high volleyball team. She also serves as the vice president of our Junior Beta Club. Chloe has maintained a 4.0 GPA since 1st grade and has consistently scored at the mastery level on all LEAP assessments. Her dedication is also evident in her attendance. That's what we're working on, right? Since pre-K, she has missed only 7 days of school and has earned the Perfect Attendance Award 6 times. This year, Chloe was named as our CHS 8th grade Student of the Year, an honor she has also earned when she was in 5th grade. Outside of school, she enjoys shopping and reading, and she too has achieved word millionaire status with over 1 million words read this year. In the future, Chloe plans to attend the University of Louisiana at Lafayette to pursue a career in nursing. Ladies and gentlemen, Ms. Chloe Ross. Next, I would like to introduce our high school student of the month, Miss Ava Louvier. Ava is the daughter of Angela and Eric Louvier. At this time, I would ask her family to please stand and be recognized. Ava has been a dedicated member of our cheerleading squad since the 7th grade and has served as captain this year. She has also been dancing for 17 years, demonstrating remarkable commitment and discipline. Throughout high school, Ava has been an active member of the Beta Club and has maintained straight A's in all of her classes. She has been named our CHS 12th grade Student of the Year and was also selected as one of our shining stars. Next year, Ava plans to attend Nicholls State University to study psychology with the goal of becoming a pediatric counselor. Outside of school, Ava enjoys reading, spending time with friends, and enjoying good food. Ladies and gentlemen, Miss Ava Louvier. Last but certainly not least, I am honored to introduce our Employee of the Month, Ms. Lauren Palumbo. Ms. Palumbo is joined this evening by her family and friends. I would ask them to please stand and be recognized. Ms. Palumbo is in her 4th year of teaching, all of which have been here at Centerville High School, where she serves as our pre-K teacher. This year, she was also nominated as our CHS Teacher of the Year. Ms. Palumbo shares Ms. Palumbo shares that she loves teaching because each day is filled with meaningful aha moments and genuine joy. Watching her students grow, explore, and build confidence is what makes her work so rewarding. Outside of the classroom, she enjoys baking, and she's really good, taking boat rides, and reading, having also achieved word millionaire status this year with over 1 million words read. Ladies and gentlemen, Ms. Lauren Palumbo. Lauren.
All right, perfect. So we're actually going to push number 1 under appearances down just a little bit while we're waiting on Miss Franklin to arrive. So we'll go to number 2, recognition of St. Mary Parish Educator Rising students who qualified for national competition. Miss Smith.
Good evening. So I know we've been here before with Educators Rising, and we've had the class, well, it's been a class for 2 years, but this year it was a little bit different. We did not have room for it in my schedule, so it was not a class, it was a club, which means that the students that I'm about to present to you tonight qualified on the state level to travel to the national conference in Portland, Oregon in June of this year, June 20th through the 23rd. and they prepared and did all the work outside of a classroom setting. So we didn't have an entire year confined to my classroom together for them to, for me to push them and prepare them. So they had to make sure they had to carve out the work, and most of them are involved in multiple extracurricular activities. So I just wanted to say that up front. I'm going to first present Miss Ava Ho. She is a junior at Morgan City High School, and this is her second year with Educators Rising. Last year, she also qualified to compete on the national level in Orlando, Florida. She placed first in the state in her competition, which was her Educators Rising moment. It's where she gives a speech with no aids, and she talks about the moment that she realizes she wants to become an educator. She is the daughter of Monica Hopp and Victory Ho, and her grandparents and her mother, Miss Monica, are here tonight. Her grandparents are Rhonda and Guy Bonifant. If you'll please stand and be recognized. And I want to say, when I say that she placed first in the state in her competition, it was first in the state overall out of collegiate, varsity, junior varsity, and middle school level. So. Next, I have two sophomores, Kyla Smith and Kinsley Oakwan. They competed together with Project Visualize, which is a service-based project where they organized a hygiene donation drive at Morgan City High School, and then they placed the bins around the school, and they let teachers know and students know the importance of good hygiene and that the products are available to them. And they've also reached out to community members. They presented at the Kiwanis Club meeting on March 20th. And they've just been, just busy little bees. They've been doing such a great job. They placed first at the state level for JV and second in the state overall. Okay, so that was great. That was fantastic. And Kyla is here tonight with Teal and Kayla Smith, and that's her parents, and also Lil Teal and Addison, brother and sister. Y'all please stand and be recognized. All right. Oh, wait, I'm sorry. And Kimberly for Kinsley Oakwan. She is here with Kimberly and Larry, her parents, and then also her mama, Miss Althea, her Mimi Liz, and then her brother's girlfriend, Haley Durensberg, who is a former graduate who's majoring in education at UL right now, and her sister Lakin, Aunt Morgan, Sutton, Collins, and Lily. I think I got everybody. If you'll please, you want to stand up? That's like half the room. Yes. Oh, we love this. Look. It takes a village. It takes a village. And finally, I have Miss Violet Bussey. She is a freshman, and I keep thinking she's a sophomore, but she's a baby freshman. She is the daughter of Elena Mayon, and she's here with her mother, and Dustin Bussey. And she placed first in JV and fourth in the state for a children's literature book. She wrote and illustrated a children's literature book entitled Sun in the Storm. And I just have to say that she went through edit after edit after edit, and then this last round, right before I came here, submitted her last copy. She went ahead, she hand drew all of her illustrations, and we could see that other students were using, I don't want to say AI, but they were using some computer-generated images, and hers were all hand-drawn and phenomenal. So we did use, the iPad, and she went into Canva and she added another layer of color, and it looks even better than I thought. It looked great to start with. It looks even better. So we have high hopes that we're gonna do well, and I'm very proud of them. Very proud of these kids. Okay. Thank you. That's it.
Can we get together for a group photo and with you as well, Miss Smith? And I do want to say good luck at nationals. Make us proud. And y'all can pick up an application with Miss Essay on the way out your door. We'll give y'all a job right now.
All right, recognition of the St. Mary Parish Public Schools welding competition winners. Miss Ashley Clark. Miss Estes.
They were standing outside. Y'all can come stand with them here. Okay, Ms. Clark wasn't able to be here tonight, so in her absence, I will read her script. First of all, the sponsors are here as well as our winners. Any parents came with you? Okay. Okay, so when we get to that, we'll get y'all to stand. So on March 21st, New Industries, along with several other sponsors, hosted the third annual welding competition for the students enrolled in the welding programs across St. Mary Parish. We extend our sincere thanks to Mr. Bill New and board members Andrew Mancuso and Chad Parody for this opportunity, as well as the sponsors. We also want to recognize New Industries employees who took time to connect with the students, share their expertise, and provide hands-on support throughout the competition, bringing real-world industry experience directly into our classrooms. This event continues to grow each year with increasing support from sponsors and the community. This year, students were treated with two special surprises, including ice cream truck, and each school received a beautiful metal cutout of its school logo to take back to school with them. Participants enjoyed lunch and a top-notch award ceremony that instilled pride and celebrated their hard work. The strong spirit of competition was evident, while also highlighting the many opportunities available in the welding industry. From students to district employees, administrators, everyone was given the red carpet treatment, making the experience truly memorable. We would like to thank all the sponsors for helping connect career and technical education to meaningful, real-world work experiences. Tonight, we want to recognize the outstanding teachers and the students who participated. We are fortunate to have 3 dedicated welding instructors serving all high schools in our district. When I call your name, if you can stand or wave. Mr. Ashley Boudreau, welding levels 1 and 2, serving Franklin Senior High School and West St. Mary. Mr. Cody Trahan, teaching welding level 1, serving Patterson High School and Berwick High School. And Mr. John Young, welding levels 1 and 2, serving Morgan City High School, Berwick High School, and Patterson High School. Finally, we're proud to highlight the winners of this year's competition. First place stick welding was Xander Crandall from Patterson High School. Zayden. If his parents could stand, or family members? Okay. First place, flux core welding, Noah LeBlanc, Patterson High School. Oh, and Morgan City. And you said you had family here also. Y'all stand to be recognized. And the grand champion was Logan Bailey of Morgan City High School, who was not able to be here tonight. The overall winner bringing the trophy home to the home base was Patterson High School welding program. We'd like to congratulate all of them for their participation, their hard work, and their dedication. Thank you.
I'd like to thank you guys for doing what you did. And in honor of Patterson, I'm wearing our colors.
All right, now we're gonna go back to number one, recognition of Alicia Franklin for artwork displayed at the Louisiana School Board Association Convention, March 29th through 31st, 2026. Ms. Boba. Press your button, Ms. Boba.
Okay. Hello, tonight it is my pleasure and honor to introduce to you Miss Alicia Franklin. Alicia is a senior at Patterson High School. She is in Beta Club, on the bowling team, student council, STEM club, and has been a member of Talented Art and the Gifted program for over 10 years. I am so proud to announce that this year Alicia represents St. Mary Parish in the high school division of the Louisiana School Board Association Art Contest.
And it is right now hanging at the Artist Guild in Morgan City. Do we know what date it's gonna be hanging there until? Does it stay for a certain amount of time? So anyway, hurry up and go see it at the Artist Guild before they take it down.
So, y'all, her artwork was out here in the front for like a month or so. If y'all remember, it was the man with the blindfold over his eyes. Yes. That's not it? Wait, that's not the one? Which one? Oh, it was the piano one.
All right. So next is the approval of the amended agenda. We actually have two items that we would like the board to consider amending our agenda for. In order for it to be added, it would have to be approved unanimously by all board members. The first item would be would go under appearances, actually. It is an award that was given at the LSBA conference to a board member. So if the board is okay with amending that, the amendment, Mr. Mancuso makes that motion, Ms. Jones seconds it. Any discussion from the audience, board members? All those in favor say aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. The second item would be under business affairs. We would put it under 1B. The item would be to discuss and/or take action to make technology purchases by moving $1 million from the technology reserve account. And Mr. Veed will explain that if approved. So what are the wishes of the board? This is just to add it to the amended agenda. Ms. Dennis makes a motion to add it. Ms. Brent seconds it. Any discussion from the audience or board members? All those in favor say aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. All right, so still under appearances, we have a recognition of a board member that was presented at LSBA. Who wants to take that item? I think that's going to be Dr. Wilson.
Okay. This week, several of us attended the 88th LSBA Annual Convention. At the convention, several school board members across the state were recognized for their years of service. Included in those recognitions was St. Mary Parish School Board member, Miss Marilyn LaSalle. So, on behalf of Louisiana School Board Association and St. Mary Parish Schools, I present this award to Miss Marilyn LaSalle, who has served for 32 years as a St. Mary Parish School Board member.
And I would also like to recognize Dr. Wilson. She was appointed to the LSBA Board of Directors
Over that weekend.
over the conference. So she makes St. Mary proud. We have some representation on the Board of Directors at LSBA. So
Let me take them off.
congratulations on your appointment. Girl,
Pass it around.
we done saw it. Some people didn't. If you want to
32
pass it.
years.
Yes, indeed. Congratulations. All right, next, the approval of our official school board minutes from our regular meeting, March 5th, 2026. Can I get a motion to approve? Dr. Wilson makes the motion to approve. Ms. Griffin seconds it. Any discussion or questions? All those in favor say aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Next is the approval of the consent agenda. The items preceded with an asterisk will constitute the consent agenda, with board members being able to remove any items so desired. All remaining items will constitute the finalized consent agenda and be voted on all together. Dr. Sanders, please read the items on the consent agenda.
Yes, ma'am. Number 1, proclamations, National Autism Awareness Month, April 2026. B, National Assistant Principals Week, April 6th through 10th, 2026. National Administrative Professionals Week, April 19th through 25th, 2026. D, National Library Week, April 19th through 25th, 2026. E, Week of the Young Child, April 11th through 17th, 2026. Number 2, request permission to obtain proposals for a financial institution to serve as the fiscal agent for the school board for the year commencing July 1st, 2026. Number 3, request permission to obtain proposals for a newspaper to serve as the official journal for the school board for the year commencing July 1st, 2026. Number 4, request permission to obtain proposals for disability insurance for the year commencing October 1st, 2026. Number 5, field trips. A, Centerville High School traveling to National Beta Conference, June 15th through 18th, 2026 in Nashville, Tennessee. And that's the consent agenda.
All right, any items requesting to be removed? Hearing none, can I get a motion to approve? Dr. Wilson makes that motion to approve. Ms. Anselm seconds it. Any discussion or questions from the audience, from the board members? All those in favor say aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. All right, number 1 under personnel. Review and approve an update to the 2026-2027 employee calendars. Ms. Estee.
Good evening again. As the letter states in your board book, that y'all had previously approved the employee calendars, and we had November 3rd as a, teacher in-service day on campus. Well, after that, we found that, and we had checked before with our local, registrar's office, said we could be on campus, but then the higher state level said we couldn't. So instead of adjusting the calendar, Dr. Sanders had an idea of virtual work day, and then that way teachers could get all of their online trainings done. We have literacy trainings, numeracy trainings, all virtual, and that's time teachers could get all that done as well. So,
All right.
and it's in blue.
I'll make a motion to approve the update.
Ms. Griffin makes a motion to approve. Ms. Brent seconds it. Any questions or discussion from the board? Any questions or discussion from the audience? All those in favor say aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. All right, business affairs. Number 1, review results of the Gov Deals surplus technology auction and consider approval to award the sale to the highest bidders. Ms. Jackson.
Good afternoon. I'm Jack A. Jackson, purchasing agent, presenting on behalf of the Technology Department. The purpose of our report is to review the results of the GovDeals surplus technology auction and consider approval to award the sale to the highest bidder. At the December 2025 regular board meeting, the board declared the Technology Department inventory as surplus items. The auction was offered through GovDeals platform. It opened on March 16th and closed on March 24th. 100% of items were successfully sold at a grand total of $1,470. Included in your board packets are the 4 lots and corresponding pictures that were available to bidders. Lot 1 of computer chargers, keyboards, and mice, the highest bidder for $800 was Abigail Nachawubi of Texas. Lot 2 of computer monitors, the highest bidder of $200 was Patrick Tamahu of Texas. Lot 3 of desktops, the highest bidder for $420 was Marcel Maheru of Florida. And Lot 4 of printers, scanners, Promethean board stands, and accessories, the highest bidder of $50 was Mark Fago of Port Allen, Louisiana. Along with my corresponding partners, Caleb Veed and Ashley Guillory, we are requesting board approval to award the mentioned bidders. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Jackson. Can I get a motion or, let's do a motion and a second and then you can ask. Ms. Jones makes a motion, Ms. LaSalle seconds it. Any discussion or questions? Mr. Guillory.
Yeah, the question I have is do we place some type of value, a minimum reserve bid on these lots? Do we kind of evaluate what it is and where we start the bidding? And who handles that, right? We just don't want to give stuff away, right? I mean, somebody could bid $5 and they're the winner, but we need to start the reserve bid at something comparable to what the equipment is, right?
Correct, yes, sir. We consulted with the GovDeals representative and also pulled other data from successful bidders of other districts, and we actually have those opening bids in your board report, and those were the guidance that we got from our representative, and that's what we had opening bid at.
All right, any other questions for Ms. Jackson? Any questions or discussion from the audience? All right, so we have a motion to accept these bids on the floor. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you very much. All right, next up is the amended agenda item 1B, discuss and take action to make technology purchases by moving $1 million from the technology reserve account. Mr. V.
Good evening. I have a letter in front of you that went ahead, I put together to explain to you pretty much the costs that I'm looking at right now. I am asking to move the money into my account for expenditures for this year so that we can buy devices now and avoid a rising cost in next year, waiting until the new fiscal year to buy these devices, or even later into the summer. If you look on the sheet, the cost for a device has almost doubled since last year around this time whenever we bought devices for the refresh. So to avoid it going even further, I'd like to try to buy devices right now rather than wait any longer.
LaSalle?
I think that's a very good idea. I'd like to make that as a motion.
Ms. LaSalle makes a motion. Dr. Wilson seconds it. Any discussion or questions? Mr. V.
Just wanted to mention as well, all of these will be put into our asset tracking system and will be tagged and labeled for the schools that they're at. So everything will be tagged and kept up in our asset system.
And these are devices that we'll use for next year? They'll go
Yes,
be issued
ma'am.
next year?
They are all set for ninth graders coming into high school next year, as well as some differences that we have in enrollment at some schools for next year for K through 8th grade, and staff devices that need to be replaced due to Windows 10 going end of life last year, and they're no longer offering security updates to make sure our network doesn't become vulnerable, to get those devices that are slow or cannot be upgraded to get them off of our network.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Mancuso?
And, if you don't mind, doing it now versus waiting till the summer, preliminary estimates on waiting till the summer would be about how much of an increase?
I don't have an exact number. All I can tell you is from what's on here in the last week, the price has jumped about $200 per unit just in the last week. It is, I actually cannot tell you how much because I don't want to lowball it and I don't want to overestimate it. But just looking at that has made me come to ask you that I really would like to purchase them now and not wait.
Mr. Giller?
One other question. So in your asset register, once you get all these new devices, right, and they're handed out to each school, do you have someone on site that's responsible for updating that asset register as to who they give it to and maybe monthly or?
So actually, we do have, I'm sorry to cut you off. The librarian at each school is actually the person that checks out the device to a student. Once the student logs into the device, our device management system picks up that student's login and checks it, puts it into our asset management system as that student is the owner of that device. And it stays in there until the device is re-imaged, which means clearing everything off the device. And then at that time, they are removed as an owner from the system. And then it goes back, it goes back into the pool. We also have a pool of spare devices that we keep, especially for during testing, to where if there's a problem with a device, that way a student can resume testing as soon as possible. We give them a loaner device for the day to be able to use while we're repairing their device that has a problem.
Right, no, that's good, because there's a lot of devices that can grow legs and walk away.
No, sir. They are actually all, like I said, they're all tagged, put in our asset management system, and I actually have software on every device that tracks their location. So I can look up any device and see where it is. We have alerts to where if a device goes outside of a certain area in the parish, then we get alerted that the device is no longer in our area, and it picks up, it gives us information and starts, it locks the device and to where no one can get in it without a password that we've set, and it starts taking screenshots and camera footage of whoever is in front of the device. That's something that I put in place this past year.
We found one in
impressive.
Texas last year
Very
that had
good.
walked away.
Yeah, I was wondering how many grew legs and walked away.
Yes, sir. We've had a few that have tried, and we work with the police department or the sheriff's department to let them know that we have a device that has been taken. And sometimes it's just a student goes on vacation, and
Yeah.
so we have to find that out, but that's been the usual case is what has happened.
Good work.
Also, I'm sure, kids lose their laptops. My grandson is a prime example in Baton Rouge. We were ready to buy a laptop because my grandson came home without it, and after school, and we're like, "Where is it?" He goes, "I don't know." So I'm like, "Well, that's coming out of your allowance." But actually, a student found it on campus and turned it in, and they could tell right away, your process, I guess, that it was for him, and called him in the office and gave him his laptop and saved us a lot of money. So thank y'all for doing what y'all do that makes our lives so much easier.
Mr. Mancuso.
And I don't know if everybody has this, but basically looking for 1,000, a little over 1,000 devices at this time. Yeah, yeah, so $200 increase over 1,000 devices, I mean, that's substantial. So I think that, I just want to point out the importance of needing to do that tonight and not wait.
Yes, sir.
Point
It's,
that out.
yes, sir.
All right. Thank you for being so diligent.
You're taking the money out of our
It-
reserves and put it in
Yes,
to the
ma'am.
general fund. Oh, no, we put it into technology.
Look that
The-
way.
it-
Yes, ma'am. We have a $5 million reserve in our technology fund. So we're going to take 1 million and move it into technology. Yes, ma'am.
All right. Any other questions or discussion? Any from the audience? All right. All those in favor say aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you and your team so much. All right. Number 2, adopt resolution regarding displaying donated 10 Commandments posters in classrooms pursuant to Louisiana Act 676.
Good evening. So in your packet, I included guidance from the Attorney General's office. It looks like on behalf of the governor with our Act 696 that now says that we will hang the 10 Commandments posters in all of our classrooms. The stipulation is that we did not purchase them through the school systems, but that these posters would be donated. And so we have had all of the posters donated. There are enough posters for every single classroom in the district. So it is now time for the board to make a decision on if we're adopting this resolution for our board and hanging up the 10 Commandments in our classrooms. You'll see within the proclamation that there are stipulations as far as what size it needs to be, and it's very specific about what walls of the classrooms that the posters can be hung. They don't want them to be right behind a teacher's desk where it can connect a personal type of connection by having it behind the teacher, and they also cannot be hung in the wall of the classroom where the main focus of every lesson is. So I'm thinking the Promethean board wall would not be the wall. So the other 2 walls would be our choices.
Yeah, and I'll chime in just a little bit on that. Board members, as you know, this topic has been subject to litigation in the state. When this law came out, there was a challenge to it, and we do have a representative of the Attorney General's office here as well. So if you would like to discuss this, that'd be fine. If not, I'll briefly go over it. So yeah, once the state law was passed, a lawsuit was filed that would challenge the constitutionality of that statute. It was filed in the Middle District of Louisiana. After some hearings, the court did enjoin the enforcement of that order, of that act of the legislature. An appeal was then taken of the issuance of the preliminary injunction. after several hearings, the U.S. Fifth Circuit Court of Appeal did overturn the district court's ruling. And essentially what that has done is the state law, there is no longer any federal court decisions that prohibit the enforcement of the state law. So the state law is here, it's in effect. So essentially, the law is there. It requires you to go ahead and post these. What the Attorney General's office did is they put out this resolution that kind of gives you some guidance in terms of, the board adopts the Attorney General's guidance as its own, and essentially, kind of serves as a more of a helpful directive to, those at the school levels in terms of how to implement this. So essentially, that's what it is, this resolution, and it does kind of, help you out in terms of your execution of this state law.
I do.
I make a motion that we adhere to the state proclamation to post the Ten Commandments in every classroom in St. Mary Parish.
All right, Mr. Guillory votes to approve the resolution. Ms. Anselm seconds that. Any discussion or questions from the board? Ms. LaSalle?
So the state is mandating us to do it? I mean, I'm
Yes,
in
ma'am,
favor
this
of
is
it,
a state
but I-
statute. You've now had enough donations, that's enough posters to cover all your classrooms, so yes.
Okay. Any other board questions or discussion? Any questions or discussion from the audience? All those in favor say aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. All right, number 3, discuss and take action concerning the superintendent search process. As you are aware, we had 5 applicants for our superintendent search. Do you want to say something before?
Oh, no, I'll go into it, yeah. So, board members, as you're aware, on Tuesday morning, the board president, vice president, and myself met at the Centerville Post Office box for purposes of checking the P.O. box that this board specifically procured for the receipt of the superintendent applications. After checking that box, there were 5 applications that had been delivered to the school boards. Those 5 applicants are Emily Martin, Jay Ina, James Russell III, Clarence Michael Robinson, and Rachel Sanders. So now you have received your applications. So we're now at the part of this superintendent process where you're kind of in a fork in a road. So you have to decide which path we're gonna go down next. And really, there's 3 overall options that you have right now. One is to proceed to elect a superintendent right now. The other one, option 2, if you will, is to try to cull or reduce the number of applicants down to a smaller number before proceeding with the interviews. Or the third option is to proceed to interview all the applicants. Based on our experience, with you only having 5 applicants at this point in time, had we got something like 7, 8, 9 applicants, we probably would have recommended that the board go into a process to kind of narrow it down to a more limited list before beginning with interviews. But based on the fact that there's only 5 applicants, our recommendation would be to go ahead and interview all 5 applicants. But that's essentially the first decision that needs to be made. After you make that first decision, depending on what it is, obviously there's a few other little decisions that we would have to make under there. But essentially that's the first decision that the board needs to consider first.
All right, so in regards to the applicant pool, do I have a motion to interview
All 5.
all 5? Ms. Jones, you had?
Yes, I was wondering when you said make the motion to interview all 5.
All 5. Okay, so Ms. Jones, is that your motion? Yes. All right, Ms. Jones makes a motion to interview all 5. Mr. Guillory seconds it. Any discussions or questions from the board? From the audience? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. So we will interview all 5 applicants.
Okay. So the next issue then, under this path, if you will, is now we have to set the dates and times of the 5 interviews. There's options. I believe last time we spread it over 2 separate nights, 2 consecutive nights. There's no requirement that you do that. You can do it all on one day if that's the pleasure of the board as well.
Andrew?
I'd like to do them all in one day, just start a little bit earlier if the rest of the board is willing. Make that motion.
Do we put a date?
What date, though?
With the 30th? April 30th?
Uh-huh. Okay, all right.
3?
All right, so the motion by Mr. Mancuso is to do them all in one day, April 30th, 2026, starting at 3 o'clock on the hour. Should we specify?
So, all right, so 3, and we'll go through this. The next, well, further down the road, you'll set your interview format, but essentially the base format probably makes each interview is scheduled. Yeah, but essentially an hour per interview. Now, in reality, they'll run a little bit more than that, but I mean, that's generally how you figure it in. So if we're gonna start at 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, and your last interview starting at 7 o'clock. At least that's what they'd be scheduled, knowing that they're gonna run longer than that.
Shouldn't we schedule some breaks in there?
Well, you can, but we would take breaks.
Is there any consideration of pushing up an hour or 2 earlier than that even?
That would be up to the board. Would anybody, so let's get a second. Do we get a second? Mr. Mancuso has a motion for April 30th at 3.
Make us, just second it, and then we can amend it during discussion.
Okay, let's start with, so Ms.
We had a second, huh?
Ms.
Yep, she had seconded.
Okay, so Mr. Mancuso made a motion for April 30th at 3. Ms. LaSalle seconded. I'm starting. All right, so now question, so we have
So if that also would go with breaks, we're talking about if the last one's at 7, it would end at 8. If we started with breaks, we're not getting out of here till possibly 9 or 10. I don't mind coming in at 3. I just didn't know if anybody had a dilemma, maybe moving it up 1 hour earlier for at least overflow and if so many breaks. I don't know.
anybody is 2?
Mr. Mancuso, do you mind amending your motion for that to start at 2? Ms. LaSalle, is that still your second to start at 2? Okay. So
right.
we have a motion and a second to start at 2.
All right, any questions or further discussion on that date and time?
Okay, so we'll need them.
It's a Thursday. It's the week before our regular board meeting. It's the Thursday before our regular board meeting. Any questions or discussion from the board, from the audience? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. So it'll be April 30th, 2026, beginning at 2 o'clock, and it'll be random draw.
That's correct, board members. The next task is to a random draw of which applicants will be allotted to which time slot. And, you know, the reason for that we do a random draw is that nobody can complain that they got put in a certain time slot that maybe prejudiced them or gave somebody a advantage. So there's a little bucket over there that I will gather. I have written the names of all your applicants. I will ask Dr. Wilson to fold those up.
Can I ask if, are these gonna be in the open or will they be?
Yeah, yes, ma'am. And we can get into that, but essentially, if you recall, the last time we did them, the interviews were in public for the first round. You have to vote in public, but traditionally, there is the majority of the interview is conducted in public for the purposes of allowing your audience to see and hear all the candidates.
When I was president, I didn't do it in public. Was it wrong? I mean, that was.
You can still have an executive session, and there would be an executive session at the following meeting after yeah. Last time we had there was 2 nights of interviews all done in public. The board then came back for another meeting. I believe the first item on that meeting was then to go into executive session to discuss your candidates, at which point the board came out and decided to proceed with selecting a candidate that night as opposed to going to a second round of interviews, if my memory serves me well. So we will mix these up, and whoever is picked first will go in order in the time slot. Anybody would like to draw? So this will be for the 2 o'clock.
Jay Ina. James Russell.
Rachel Sanders.
Clarence Michael Robinson Jr.
Emily Morton.
Do we need to schedule our breaks in there now? No, we'll just take them.
We will send a letter to each of the applicants informing them of the meeting date and their time for them to arrive. Essentially, they'll be asked to arrive at the time of their scheduled interviews, and again, knowing that, you know, the interviews will go a little bit longer, so they should have plenty of time. All right, so the next issue to vote on is essentially to set the interview format. The format that we typically recommend and that we've done in the past, and it's the same format that this board used last time, is to schedule the interviews for essentially 1 hour each. And the format is that each applicant starts off about 10 minutes introducing themselves, talking about themselves, whatever they want the board to hear. After that is done, then we go into board comment, where where the board members will start asking the candidate a question. We ask that each board member essentially prepare 2 questions, but there will only be 1 question asked by each board member. After a question is asked and the applicant gives his answer, any board member can then make a follow-up question based on the answer. And that's essentially where it starts kind of tailoring past that 1 hour mark. It really depends on how many follow-up questions. But essentially with that 1 question, that typically makes it run about an hour. So after each board member has asked their 1 question, then you give your applicant about 10 minutes to close, tell the board whatever he or she wants the board to hear, and essentially that's the end of the interview.
Will you be able to provide us with like a bank? So if I bring
Yes.
my 2 questions and my 2 questions are asked?
We can provide you a bank. I think we did that last time of just sample questions. I think LSBA also maintains a bank as well. You're more than free to use a question on the bank, or you have every right to ask whatever question you want to ask.
Do I have a motion to accept those recommendations or
For the format?
for the format? Ms. Ansler makes that motion. Ms. Dennis seconds it. Any questions, discussions about that? Any of that?
Did we decide on to do it in public? Yes?
Yes, our recommendation would be to do this round in public.
So this motion would be public interviews, 1 hour planned for each, 10-minute intro. Board members bring 2 questions each. A bank will be provided. In case yours are asked, you'll each ask 1 question. You can follow up questions to anybody's questions, and then they'll get a 10-minute close. Any questions, discussions?
I had just one question. So the public can come into this room with us? Okay.
It will be an open public meeting. Yep.
Okay. I will-
Essentially, it is a board meeting. It's just a board meeting that's the sole purpose, the sole agenda item is for the interview of candidates.
Okay.
And streamed, right?
And streamed.
Okay, so that is what the motion entails. Any other comments, discussions, questions? Anything from the audience? All those in favor say aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Anything else?
That's it.
All right. All right, next up. Committee, under committee reports. Andrew, you setting your maintenance committee up at this one? Yes?
Mr. Regard, were you gonna take that? Or you want me to go ahead and set it? We'll go ahead and set it if you want. The maintenance committee, District 3. Okay.
Okay, well, we can save it for then if you want. All right. This committee reports, Discipline Committee met on Tuesday, March 24th, 2026 at 4:30 PM. Ms. Jones.
Yes, the discipline committee met on March 24th, where we discussed and agreed to some changes of language within the matrix, as well as adjusting the scale of consequences. These updates has been included in your packages. If anyone have any questions about those changes, language? If anyone has no question, I respectfully request the board the approval of the amended language and the revised offense classification across various levels. These changes are intended to improve clarity, ensure consistency, and align with governing policies.
Is that in the form of a motion?
Yes, it is.
All right,
It is in
Ms.
form of
Jones
a
makes
motion.
that motion to accept. Ms. Brent seconds it. Any questions or discussion from the audience? All those in favor say aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. The School Uniform Committee met on Wednesday, March 25th, 2026 at 4:30 PM. Ms. LaSalle.
I had an unforeseen emergency, so I was not there, and I asked Dr. Sanders to chair the meeting, so she's got the report for today.
So there were 4 items on the uniform committee meeting agenda. The first was to discuss whether or not we needed to revise our policy on uniform skirts. That failed, and the policy will remain the same, 2 inches, no shorter than 2 inches above the knee. And consequences will be addressed by administrators, and they're currently doing some communicating with Mr. Holmes at this time to maybe address the consequences for our young ladies who are wearing their skirts just a bit too short. Item number 2 was the agenda concerning socks. There was a proposal to allow students to wear any kind of socks that they want. And rather than do that, the committee stuck with the fact that we will continue wearing solid white, black, brown, navy blue, or khaki socks, as we always have. Students must wear socks, as always. But they did revise the policy slightly to allow socks to be worn, the shorter socks, the ankle socks, to be worn just above the shoe, as long as they can be seen. The third policy is concerning undershirts, and they are saying that, and this one passed, any long or short-sleeved undershirt worn underneath a uniform shirt must be designated uniform colors and the school color, and that passed. And finally, the fourth item was concerning stockings, tights, and leggings, and we are going to stick with the colors white, black, brown, navy blue, or khaki-colored stockings, tights, and leggings. And these were the decisions.
All right. Can I get a motion to accept the recommendations from Ms. LaSalle makes that motion? Ms. Griffin seconds it. Any questions or discussion from the board? Ms. Anselm?
I'm a part of the uniform committee. I'm glad the consequences will be addressed for the skirts since it was such a big discussion. I'm also glad that the skirts, it was automatically determined that skirts will be staying. However, I do think in the future, possibly more conversation with our wording of the policy and how it's disciplinable, may need to be looked at, but I do appreciate consequences being addressed more with administrators so things can be carried out as they see fit also.
Thank you. Any other questions or discussion from the board? From the audience? All those in favor say aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Next, our Chief Financial Officer's report. Ms. Voisin.
We're 8 months into the fiscal year, and our year-to-date sales tax collections from July to February are 1.3 million favorable. We collected 3.6 million in February, which is 1.3 million over the monthly budget due to a one-time audit collection done by the sales tax office in February of 26. The financial statement actuals through March of 2026 are in your packets. Regarding other significant items, I'd like for the board to solidify the dates for the upcoming maintenance special project budget workshops. Tentative dates Mr. Riguard provided me are District 1, April 23rd at 5 o'clock. Does that work for everyone? Yes, ma'am. 5 o'clock. That works. It's a Thursday, correct. Okay, District 2, April 27th, it's a Monday at 1 o'clock. And District 3, April 29th at 4 o'clock. It's a Wednesday. Okay. Okay, I don't have any other significant items, so thank you.
Thank you. Next, our superintendent's report. Dr. Sanders.
Yes, ma'am. Another congratulations to Dr. Tammy Wilson, who has now been selected as to be a member of the Board of Directors for the LSBA. We're happy about that. Yesterday, we celebrated National Paraprofessionals Day. We acknowledge the key role that our paras have in the success of our vulnerable student populations. We're so grateful for the work that our paraprofessionals do for us in St. Mary. Next week is National Assistant Principals Week. I want to acknowledge the work of our APs and deans in each of our schools. These educators help with safety, truancy, discipline, and instruction across our campuses. This is no easy set of tasks, and we are so very grateful to our APs and deans. HR is currently accepting applications for all positions for the 26-27 school year. If you have any questions or any interest in working for the St. Mary Parish Public School System, please contact our HR department. Don't forget that again this summer we will host 2 NASA Astro Camps. The deadline to register is April 15th. And also don't forget that it's not just for public school students this year. We have invited all of our partners in the private schools as well. Great news in band land. We have 4 St. Mary Parish schools that are sweepstakes bands, and they are eligible for State Large Ensemble Festival, April 20th through 24th at Northwestern State University. Our bands headed to state are Berwick High School, B.J. McCarter Director, Franklin High School, Savoy Howard Director, Morgan City Junior High School, Nancy Smith Director, and Morgan City High School, Michael Swiber Director. Congratulations and good luck headed to state. Don't forget, April 17th is our Special Olympics event hosted at Berwick High School at their track. Everyone is welcome. And last but not least, spring break is here. Not that anybody needs a break. 10 whole days without having to set our alarms, lay out uniforms, or drive grumpy little ones to school. Happy Easter to our entire St. Mary Parish Public Schools family.
All right, thank you. All right, and our resolution of respect, Ms. Este, if you're able to, please stand for that.
In memoriam of Norvalina Green, retired school secretary, Michael G. Bracata, retired principal, Whereas Almighty God, in his infinite wisdom, has taken from our midst, and whereas their untimely death has deprived the St. Mary Parish school system of these beloved colleagues. Now therefore be it resolved that the St. Mary Parish School Board and the people attending this board meeting bow our heads in silent prayer out of respect and extend to their bereaved families our sincere condolences and express the high regard in which we held each of them in life and honor their memory in death. Let us adjourn this meeting out of respect for Norvaline Green and Michael Bracata. Amen.
Next, we have an executive session for a strategy session and/or action concerning pending litigation. Do I need to read the whole thing? As authorized by Louisiana Revised Statute 42:17A2, there may be an executive session to discuss strategy and litigation entitled Boudreaux et al. Versus School Board of St. Mary Parish, bearing civil action number 6:65-11351 on the docket of the United States District Court for the Western District of Louisiana. Can I get a motion to go into executive session? Dr. Wilson makes a motion, Ms. Anselm seconds it. All those in favor say aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. We are now action on that item. Can I get a motion to adjourn? It was,
I make a motion to adjourn.
Jones makes a motion to adjourn. Mancuso seconds it. All those in favor say aye. Any opposed? Motion carries.